What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Bird Fly Through. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share out. And I do apologize for my voice. I am dealing with a little bit of a cold, but we're going to push through it. And we're here to talk about another Falcons game. We're here to talk about another Falcons loss. The Falcons do lose in Foxborough to the Patriots yesterday by 1 point, but they did lose. They are now on a 3 game losing streak ever since beating the Bills. This Falcons team has been reeling. And did they play better than they did a week ago versus Miami? Yes, it was honestly going to be pretty hard to top that horrible performance. And we did see the Falcons come out. We saw the offense at times get going more so, obviously, than versus Miami. The defense did keep the Falcons in the game. And plus, when you really do look at it, the Patriots did not play that good of a game in general. They really didn't. They did not play their style of football. They made mistakes. There were opportunities where they could have put this game away, and they failed to do so. Drake May turned the ball over twice. He threw an interception to Jesse Bates. The defense had 6 sacks, and we really saw this defense keep the Falcons within the game. And when you get 6 sacks and you get 2 interceptions, you really would think that you're going to have a chance to go out and win, and you probably have a great chance to win, but no. The Falcons ultimately, the inconsistencies on offense were just too much to overcome. And it was a game where you pretty much saw the Falcons, do what the Falcons do best, which is, find frustrating ways to lose week after week. A game that you essentially had gift wrapped for you by the New England Patriots. Drake London had an absolutely monstrous day with 3 touchdowns, making big catches left and right. Michael Penix was clearly in one of the most, comfortable spots I think we've seen Michael Penix in so far. Primarily was because he had Drake London out there. He was able to get the ball to Drake London. And that was a connection that was there all day. We did see Bijan Robinson get involved in the passing game, but also think that kind of goes into the issue. But we did see Bijan get involved in the passing game some. But in the end, look, the Falcons have pretty much told us, and I do think it was an encouraging sign that we did see the passing game come to life, because I've always been the advocate of, if you want to be a good team, you cannot have one lifeline to rely on. You have to have multiple ways to win. And we did see that the Falcons, they did get the passing game going at the end of the day. But this was a game that obviously the Falcons' bread and butter is their running game and is being able to dominate on the ground. That is really what the Falcons should have been doing late in the game, and honestly, for some reason, the Falcons just decided to go away from it. That final drive after Drake London made that catch, just like we've seen plenty of times before this Falcons team do. They do not stick with the running game. Bijan Robinson was starting to get a lot of those chunk runs that, if you keep up, the Falcons probably could have pushed closer to field goal position and given Parker Romo at least a chance to redeem him missing the extra point. But at the end of the day, it did not happen. Michael Penix made just an inexcusable, horrible mistake that, at this point, you've already seen Michael Penix make too many times to where you really question who is actually working with Michael Penix, who is making progress with Michael Penix on these mistakes and helping him learn from it. But obviously, at the end of the day, you need Michael Penix to learn from these mistakes himself. If he's going to be a successful NFL quarterback, we see there's the tools, we see there's the potential, but you got to clean the simple stuff up. And that is the thing with the Falcons. The Falcons have time and time again we see come out and lose, not because they just got outplayed, not because it's just as simple as the better team won. Yes, the better team wins, but the Falcons really do overcomplicate this a lot of times. You see them miss extra points. You see them make boneheaded decisions and, not be aware of, basic football one on one essentially. Not aware of intentional grounding rules, not aware of any of that. Looking like a deer in headlights. And, it's what, the embarrassment mounts week after week, and we have seen it. It's something I talked about after the Miami game. This team, no matter what, it just feels like they have found ways to lose in outrageous ways. And this was another instance where it's very easy to get outraged by the loss yesterday because it was another opportunity to finally start digging yourself out of a hole. But I said this, I had no expectation heading into this game. I wasn't shocked that they kept it close. Nothing would have shocked me. But at the end of the day, we did what we do best. We put some points up. We had some flashy highlights, but we still didn't do enough to come away with the win, even when the Patriots certainly were essentially helping our case to win the game. We cannot do enough on offense. And, it's where, while I feel like a lot of the looks were better. You saw more versatility, you saw more looks, and it felt like the passing game was a little more polished. There were still inconsistencies with play calling on offense. And until you are actually able to build off of stuff consistently with this offense, you start off with the run game and you don't try to make Bijan a pass catching target. I said this. You have to just hand the ball off. You should not be calling these screens once a drive to Bijan that take 4 seconds to develop, and you already have three men that know where it is going and are corralling Bijan the moment he gets the football. We saw that many times yesterday, and it was costly to the Falcons. As far as the defense goes, once again, the defense did their job. They bended, but they didn't break. They kept the Falcons in the game. They only let up 3 second half points. They had 6 sacks. This defense attacked Drake May. New England got out early, but New England was never able to put this Falcons team away. And they had the Falcons, in a situation where the Falcons had a chance to go win it, but in the end, they failed to take advantage, even despite a historic day from Drake London and a breakout game from Jalen Walker. Brandon Dorless with an absolutely amazing day. LaCale London had some good plays. You still couldn't get it done. And you wish you could honestly be shocked, but you're not. It's really hard to get mad over this, but you just continue to be disappointed week after week. Now, I do have to give two game balls out. And the first one is obviously going to Drake London. I mean, you're talking about just an absolute. I mean, this is this is Julio level stuff we're seeing. Drake has that Julio aura that you have really been long desiring for since Julio walked out the door. And, Drake has given that to you. And it's a shame that, Drake London, with the day that he had, which entailed for 9 catches, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns, an absolute monster day, and you still couldn't get the job done. And going over to the defense side of the ball, Jalen Walker, 2 sacks. It really felt like the breakout game for Jalen Walker. And I'm going to say, if the Falcons want to have any promise, or matter of fact, it's just important for the development of these guys, you're going to have to see more of this from Jalen Walker. But this was a great sign. He is definitely the guy that stood out on defense in this game. This was definitely a breakout game, I feel like, for him. And now you just need to see him continue to build off of it. So, with that being said, and obviously, there's really not much else to talk about with the disappointment of this game because the Falcons had an opportunity to win. They didn't take advantage. Now, moving forward to what is next, and that is a matchup with the Colts in Germany in 6 days. So really, I mean, look, this is a matchup that once again, you really don't know what to make of it. The Colts are coming off loss, but the Colts have been one of the best teams in the league this year. They're the story of the NFL this season. Jonathan Taylor, up until that game versus the Steelers, Jonathan Taylor was looking like an MVP candidate. The first time a running back had really been in that conversation since Adrian Peterson. Daniel Jones has obviously had a career resurgence. The job that Shane Steichen has done has been absolutely amazing. So it's going to be a challenge. But I think, the one thing is the game being in Germany, and this is going to be one of the toughest defenses the Colts have faced all year. You're going to see a big attack style from the Falcons. You're going to see them put pressure on Daniel Jones. You're going to see them probably try to corral Jonathan Taylor, even though I will say I feel like this is going to be a game. Whatever team is able to take control of it early is going to be the team that is set up to win. And that's just really how games like these go nowadays. If you put yourself in a position to control the game early, you're gonna stand the best chance to win. And you gotta execute, you gotta punch in touchdowns against this Colts team if you want to win. At this point, the conversation about any postseason talk, I feel like that is essentially over. But you got to get a win at this point. You do have to get a win, and you're going to have an opportunity to. There's any given Sunday. The game is in Germany, but this Colts team has been really good all year, and they're going to be looking to bounce back. But, anyways, with that being said, appreciate everyone for watching. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share, and I will see you all in the next one.